How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the NDA podcast. This is your boy Kevin doing the intro this week for episode 4200. We have a very odd episode this week because it's been very difficult to record an episode this week. So rather than give you guys no audio at all this week, I thought I'd hop on and do a little mini solo podcast. Maybe I think Justin and maybe Wex will hop in and do like a official write up for their predictions and stuff. Haven't done one of those in a while, but due to difficulties getting together to record, this is just the result. I'm gonna speed through this kind of quickly. Just did a little recap and highlights for the upcoming week 10, last week of the regular season, and recap of week 9. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into Rooster and Mao. A very interesting game. I had Rooster helped me prep this week, and Mao asked me for some insight. I didn't know too much about Rooster's team. He told me he had a good matchup, and gave Mao some ideas. And Rooster helped me a lot with my team this week, so I was very interested in this one. And game 1 kind of went to plan for, I guess, Mao. Dedenne kind of did its thing a bit, and he was really able to get around the Weezing Gigas. And Mao won game 1, and I really thought it was going to go well, and then Rooster kind of just came out of nowhere, and Rooster played maybe the best he's played all season, in my opinion, to adjust the way he did. And 3 show why he's at the top of the leaderboard. I mean, he's not in first, but he's up there for sure. His adjustment with Amoonguss and Noivern, those spores were like fast. Amoonguss was a crazy bring. For Rooster, and it really won him game 2, and game 3 was a lot closer for differential wise, but not as many sleeps this time, but no fast Amoonguss here, which was pretty cool. But Specs Calyrex kind of just did the damage, and Rooster made some good predictions. Like Mao protected Machamp lead in game 3 on a Psychic, and knowing that he was locked into it, he switched out, and Rooster targeted the other spot, getting rid of Dedenne. Very good predictions, and he got Calyrex out of there eventually, I believe, because, I mean, it didn't want to keep clicking Psychic. He brought in Noivern, and yeah, I mean, Calyrex just did so much damage, and especially game 2 when things were sleeping, it just was able to do it for free. He got off the sleep. He did get off the sleep on the Necrozma game 3, and kind of did the rest. It's just unfortunate. Specs Calyrex, man, is a big bring. Kudos to Rooster for sure. And I'm gonna move on into the next game, which is Wex versus Germ. Did some late minute prep for this one with Wex and Germ here. Not feeling super confident. He didn't lead his tried and trusty Mienshao Yveltal. Went for a Metagross Mienshao lead game 1, and just T-Wave. Justin used all the para hacks into Germ week 8, and Germ brought it this week, and it did its thing. Para hacks. It's a brutal hacks that we have all had to deal with at one point or another this season, and Wex got the full force of it this week. I believe he was still able to take. Oh no, Germ took game 1. Para hacks and Kyogre. Kyogre did huge damage with Water Spout. Wex wasn't able to put any damage on it, and Max Helios cleaned up the rest along with it in the back. Wex did adjust a bit. He brought it to a game 3, which was impressive. So that was, I mean, the straight Kyogre lead is always intimidating. It just he brought out Clefable, and there was no way to stop Water Spout, but Fake Out Mienshao really stopped it, and then Metagross was able to do big damage into Heliolisk, take it out, which was huge because that was the Maxmon from the game before, did all the damage, and Wide Guard stopped the Kyogre. It was big adjustments, but it wasn't enough to win in a game 3. He led Clefable again, which was really as he said, like it died turn 1 last game because you can't really stop Water Spout. It just redirects, but that spread move is it's too powerful. I mean, Mienshao probably should have been the lead for Wex. Would have been a good adjustment. Max Clefable was also suspect. Didn't really have the damage. Game 3, it was something we kind of thought about because of it gets a max grass move and whatnot. But it's Max Kyogre kind of just did big thing. Like Max Kyogre this time rather than just clicking Water Spout was actually a good adjustment, and Germ secured the game and has a good shot at he has a playoff hope now for week 10, so that'll be exciting to talk about later. And I'm gonna go now into Harrison versus Mack, and as we all predicted, sadly for Mack, this was just a tough matchup. He tried to go Sceptile to counter the Max Groudon because Groudon had a huge weakness, but he didn't target it the first turn. He tried to get rid of the Charizard, which is viable. I mean, Charizard's a huge max threat, but self-proc the weakness policy with Sceptile was cool, but he didn't target the Groudon. He didn't get enough damage on it, and he went for a Rockfall into Musharna because Sceptile gets Rock Slide for some reason, and Groudon just OHKO'd it with a Flare and Sunlight. It's unfortunate, and it kind of just swept from there, as we saw coming. Game 2, actually, we have our first FF of the season. Harrison unfortunately brought the wrong team, so Mack was given a set and ruined all of our predictions of a 2-0. Thanks, Harrison. Shout out to you, buddy, for that. Very sad. And then Game 3 went according to plan as usual. Max Groudon again, just doing big things. The taunt into Musharna from Mr. Mime was a cool adjustment. But yeah, and maybe if Max crits a Leaf Blade onto the Groudon, he's in a much better spot. But unfortunately did not get it, and he was able to take out the Sceptile with Expanding Force, Musharna, who I believe was Specs, I think, which is unfortunate for the taunt. He was, I think he was trying to yawn. He was Specs yawn, but big damage still from Musharna. Very interesting set. And yeah, Groudon and Musharna were just able to clean up with Groudon's good matchup and Specs doing so much damage. It was just unfortunate for Mack. And Harrison took the dub. And we got Griffin versus Ryolu next. This was a very interesting game. We had another FF on our hands. Game 1, Griffin brought Milotic, which he previously dropped for Alakazam, who coincidentally was on the team as well. He had both of them. But Milotic should not have been playing. If you're going to bring someone from that tier, it would have been Talonflame, who should be S tier, shouldn't be A tier, but we move. So that was an FF for Griffin. And he adjusted. We let him make sure he just changed the Milotic to Talonflame. And he actually led it the next game. Oh, no, he did not. I'm wrong. Sorry. Tapu Lele and Hitmonlee. And Griffin actually caught the dub. It would be interesting to see how Game 1 would have went if he didn't have the unfortunate mishap with team build. But I don't know, he just did. I think Ryolu got an unfortunate play rough miss. I think that's what happened, why he lost. He got a knuckle off into it with Hitmonlee, and then he missed a play rough. Yeah, and Griffin was able to ride that momentum and take the dub. But then after with the forfeit win and Griffin's win 1-1 in set 3, and I believe he got a Zacian lead and got a play rough off the rip and was able to just steamroll from there. Griffin didn't really have a Zacian answer, so yeah, on for it. It's 2 FFs in week 9, kind of funny. And Griffin, he got a win despite the FF, but the Zacian proved to be very, very influential this game. With Tailwind, I mean, come on now, it's gonna murder some things. And then next we can go into Ryder and Gummy, a very late game this week, as our commissioner was away from Discord for a bit, needed some personal time, which we respect and hope he's doing good. We shall watch. I got to prep Ryder a little bit this week, and yeah, Celesteela just kind of went crazy, and Togedemaru was a good support with it. Lightning Rod, Focus Sash, Lightning Rod stops all electric moves into Celesteela from like Raikou or like a Wild Charge from Solgaleo, and it was able to set up Reflect and really stop Solgaleo from hitting Celesteela, and it nuzzled the Solgaleo as well, so slowing it down, and Celesteela was just able to get them boosts and kind of just steamroll Gummy. Like, it just wasn't he just didn't really have an answer. And then like once Togedemaru went down, Comfey just came in and kept healing it, and it's just unfortunate. You can only do so much. He didn't have a great Celesteela answer other than Raikou, or maybe Turtonator if he got it up, but I mean, Celesteela is faster. Gummy doesn't have a great Trick Room, and next to Togedemaru, it can't get hit by any electric move. So very good idea from Ryder. It worked out pretty well, and I'm pretty sure he goes same strategy game 2, and Gummy led the same thing, and it just rather than reflect on turn 1, he just faked out Grimmsnarl, and I believe he just gets rid of it with the Steel Spike, get that defense boost, so Solgaleo doesn't do as much damage. It's just I mean, to be fair to Gummy, he knocks Togedemaru to Sash and gets a Spadef boost for the Celesteela, but Sash Togekiss is a decent bring. I mean, you don't run Babiri Berry that way, you still live a hit. But yeah, Max Flare from Solgaleo, I guess from Flare Blitz, did approximately 20, and when Celesteela is max, that's nothing, and then Comfey comes out and heals it. So yeah, I mean, Gummy couldn't really adjust, and it's a shame. Gonna be interesting to see with this last game if Gummy can pull out a playoff spot. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next we have the South Jersey Derby between myself and Justin, and game 1 went to plan. For myself, my strategy, I really prepped hard for Dialga, Coughing, and like Rain stuff, and Justin tried to go for his kill, like his main option with his lead, which was Sucker Punch into Weakness Policy Dusknoir, and I was able to. He did frisk my eject button with Klefki, interesting enough, but I was able to get Dusknoir out of there. He didn't go for his strategy, and I was able to manipulate the game and manipulate weather in my favor. Serena Klefki was a really good lead. It's just like I couldn't get off, and it worked well for game 1. I was able to. I ended up my max option was always going to be very suspect. Like, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to max every time. It just mattered on the situation sometimes. But Max Serena kind of did the trick this game. No Dialga for Justin, which was very interesting. I prepped really hard for it. It's like the only thing he's ever used all season. And to be fair to Justin, like, he just adjusted so well. Like, I had good answers for his team, but I had no answer for, like, I couldn't stop Sucker Punch into Dusknoir when it was in the back. Like, I couldn't stop the self priority into Weakness Policy. That was a good bring for Justin. I didn't really prep for that. Normally Justin relies on Dialga being bulky and getting his Weakness Policy proc for it. So very good prep for Justin. I mean, it's always like me and Justin's matches are always going to be super close like this. We're always like in each other's head. We prep with each other every week. We know what we like to do. We know each other's teams. So the fact like that he caught me off guard like this and was able to adjust when he lost game one was like really like kudos to him. Like we talk all this shit and we get on each other's nerves, but like no one pisses me off more than Justin because we're both so stubborn and we're just the same person. It's really bad, but I gotta give credit due when it's due. I mean, he just adjusted very well, and I wasn't able to handle Max Dusk Noir. Who would have thought? The thing that I brought Justin onto, I had Dusk Noir on my team season 2, and I think he's had it the past 2 seasons because of that. He would like saw me on my team, and now he's gotten accustomed to using it in draft league, and he beats me with it. So what can you do? Very, very unfortunate. I thought I had an answer game 3 with Marowak. I thought the Max Darkness from Marowak would do. I EV'd Marowak to be faster than Dust Noir because I knew Trick Room. I didn't think Trick Room was coming, but just in case he brought it, I had Max Darkness. Believe it or not, with Marowak, I believe he gets Throw Chop or something like that. I had it for Dust Noir Meowstic, and I thought it would do more damage, but Dust Noir, it's in the Dusclops family. I mean, it doesn't get Eviolite, but it is a bulky boy still, and I imagine it was max HP, max attack, and it's just a bulky boy. And my Max Darkness, missed a roll, game 3, very unfortunate. If I got that kill, could be a closer game, but no, Justin, kudos, man. GG's, you won the Derby. You are in the lead for sure in our draft league battles, but hey, we'll see where we're at the end of the season. And game of the week for week 9 was Will versus Quirts, the very good friends. I believe like Will, just the prep out here he out prepped the Quirts, who it's hard to plan for, man. Quirts is a hard coach to plan for, and we see all of Kev's love, the Swoobat, come out. Things we love to see. We love a good Swoobat. And Swoobat was like very bulky this week. I believe it lived a Nuzzle and a Max Airstream. Very, very poggers. Will's strategy was to sucker. He was gonna max like a psychic move into Eternatus and proc its weakness policy, but due to fake out and Airstream, Swoobat was not able to get off what it wanted to do. But Max Grafty in the back really, really won Will this game. It did so good. And when Quartz lost his Max because he maxed turn 1, and between Aegislash and Scrafty, like they were just able to do huge damage. After a Max Knuckle boost into Aegislash, it was able to chip the Kyurem really good, and Scrafty was able to get rid of other Scrafty because I knew Quartz was going to bring Ditto this week for Will. Like, it was just kind of the mind games that he would bring for his buddy. And yeah, with that in the back, he was able to, with the attack boosts and priority, he was able to just clean up. And then game 2, I believe, was a sweep. Eternatus actually got off its weakness policy because it protected turn 1. And we got to see a Max Whimsicott, which was really cool. Max Whimsicott chipped the Kyurem so hard. And Max Eternatus ate a nice move from Kyurem Max and was able to just sweep a weakness policy. I'm pretty sure he got every kill this game. So, yeah, Max Whimsicott and the weakness policy Eternatus sweep, that's just different gravy from Will there. And he wins another game 2-0 and wins the game of the week. Diminishes Quartz' playoff run a bit. Quartz is going to need a big performance this week again to make playoffs, and Will is cemented in the playoffs at this point with this win, I think. So kudos to Will. Great prep, man. Great prep to beat Quartz like that, especially when the pressure's on, when you're game of the week and you're playing your friend. It was just unreal from Will. And that is the recap for week 9. We can swiftly move into the much anticipated week 10 of the NDA. Final week of the season, boys. We've come this far. I wish I had the boys with me to talk about it, but you'll get a little write up hopefully. I just wanted to give you some audio, like I said. I'm probably not the most exciting person to be by myself, but hope it's better than nothing. A little insight. I have everyone's predictions here. We have a designated game of the week, but there's so many games that could have gotten game of the week this week. And being week 10, we're just going to talk about them all. I will announce what the official game of the week is, and we'll talk about it at the end. The official game of the week, voted 2-1 by me and Wex. Justin got outvoted. Was Germ versus Mal. We're very excited about this game. Huge playoff implications, obviously, but among other ones. And Justin's vote we'll talk about right before Germ and Mal, so I'll save them for the end. But yeah, Germ versus Mal, game of the week, very, very exciting. We'll save that for the end. So without further ado, I will transition straight into Harrison versus Ryolu. Sadly, we did not get any predictions in for this game. They played very early in the week, and we were caught off guard. And that game is over already. I will not be discussing it. Hopefully, we will do a recap video for week 10 and discussions about playoffs in our next episode, so stay tuned for that. We did make predictions for Will versus Rooster. It did play today. I will not spoil it. However, I will go over the predictions. My prediction for Will versus Rooster was a 2-1 Will. I saw some of Will's strategy in our server, and I knew he had a decent plan. I thought it would still be close, though, because I respect Rooster as a battler, so I went 2-1 Will. Justin and Eli, I think Justin prepped Will, so he knew he was doing. He was confident, and Eli always, backs whoever is playing Rooster. So they both went 2-0 Will, and Wex backed Rooster this week. He said a 2-1 Rooster. So I'm sure you'll see this. I'm just going to tell you now. I'm sure they'll tell you about it in their write-up if they do it. Like I said, this is all. I don't know if they're doing it. I'm just going to give you some audio this week. But yeah, that match did happen already. Stay tuned to find out the results in our recap video. And then those two games played already, and I will now get into Ryder versus Griffin, who has not happened yet at the time of recording, so I will give my insight. Yeah, Griffin's I'm sorry, boys, but Griffin is just rightfully and truly screwed. He has a Psy Spam team now, as you should all know from what we just witnessed. And Ryder has Incineroar and Giratina and a Trevenant, but mainly an Incineroar and a Giratina and a Celesteela for the Tapu Lele. Yeah, Ryder has everything at his disposal this week. And Griffin is rightfully and truly screwed, and I feel bad. It's a shame. He's had this new Psy Spam team, and he's had bad matchups. He always gives Ryder a tough game, however. Ryder hates playing Griffin. They've had some tough matches, and Griffin actually has come up on top in the past. So maybe he finds a way, but in my eyes and the other coaches' eyes, we all do not see any way Ryder loses this match. I mean, maybe Ryder builds a fun team. I mean, he secured playoffs. Maybe he builds a fun, different team, and Griffin could take advantage of it. But yeah, now Celesteela and Incineroar, Giratina, they look so good this week. So I believe all the boys have said 2-0 to Ryder this week. And yeah, very unfortunate for Griffin. It's going to be very tough. I hope he can pull maybe a game, make it interesting, but this matchup is not looking good for him. And then, yeah, so next we can go into me versus Wex. So Ryder versus Griffin had no playoff implications at all, so we could talk about that early. But the next four, like I said, 2 games already played, had some playoff implications. Ryolu, depending on his matchup, well, depending on the outcome, could have a better shot at making playoffs or not. We shall see. We'll just let you all know how that goes. But the next 4 were all high game of the week candidates, large playoff implications. I put me and Wex here because I'm talking about it. I want to give shout outs to the other matches first. I meant later. They're a little more important because playoff spots are in the line. Me and Wex are just fighting for the 1 seed, which is very exciting. Me and my buddy Wex. I wish he was here to talk about it with me. But yeah, I'm very nervous. As Wex has shown all season, he might not have the most time for prep, but that just gives kudos to how good of a team he drafted and how good the synergy is between his team. I don't think he knew how good Mienshao was coming into this, and I don't like how good it mixed with Metagross and Yveltal, and then having Clefable to redirect and do some things along with it. That core 4 Mons are insane for him. They're literally, and they're so hard to counter. Yveltal's so bulky and does a ton of damage with Dark Aura, and Metagross is just, he's a huge threat with his weakness policy. I'll be interested to see what set Wex runs with him, but if he brings it at all. I mean, I imagine he will, but yeah, I want to give shout out to Wex. That's my buddy. I'm very glad to have met him through this league. Very good friends now, and I'm very excited for our matchup. Wex has never beat me, so I'm sure you all know that. He said that many times on here, and he's very excited to try and beat me this season because he's beaten Ryder, he's beaten Justin, he's beaten the Titans, who he has never beaten before. So on the final hurdle, and it's for first seed in the league, which is incredible. It truly is incredible. One, like, the loser could potentially, depending on how the results go, fall even like below second. Like, it's the loser of this game doesn't necessarily get second place. They could fall below that. So maybe Justin will talk about that in the write-up. I know he did a little document discussing all the like potential outcomes, like where people could fall and whatnot. So I know I can fall to at least third, I think, and Wex can go a little below that. So I am sitting at the top right now still, but it's all coming down to this, and I couldn't be more excited. We are both very busy. I think our game will be extended into next week. But yeah, very excited to hopefully play it, get a little more prep in, and can't wait, Wex. Love you, buddy. Let's make it a good one for first place. And next we can go into Justin versus Gummy, another huge match, which Justin was here to talk about it. But I think the scenario here is Gummy needs to win. If Gummy wins, he secures playoffs. If Justin wins, he's out. Gummy's out. There's no way he can make playoffs if he loses. If Justin wins, I believe he secures at least third. He could go into second depending on the win and the loser. I think if Wex loses, Justin can move into second, which would be the same as last season. Me and Justin finish 1-2 if that's the scenario, which would be very cool. Despite him beating me, he'll be second. I have that the record advantage. But yeah, this is going to be a huge matchup because huge playoff implications. Gummy did really well, finished third last season, did really well in the playoffs in the end of the season, and he could have the potential to not make it. And then if Justin loses, he'll have to play Will, I believe, is how it's lined up right now. He'll be the 5th seed, Will will be the 4th seed, potentially on how results go, I think. So I know Justin does not want to play Will. So these playoff implications, like, Justin's going to try. Like, he's not, like, yeah, he's locked in playoffs and Gummy isn't, but where you fall is huge. Fortunately, I think Justin, it's impossible for him to fall below 6. So he is secured a top 6, 7 through 10 seeds have a play-in game. They have like the 7 plays the 10, the 8 plays the 9. So Justin is safe from that. But on matchups, they both have very decently bulky steel types. So Justin's being a little more bulky. But other than that, Gummy's team is very weak to steel, and Gummy's team is very weak to steel and ground, which Dialga has pretty good coverage for. It's just going to be we'll see how Justin works with, like, does damage to Solgaleo, but at the same time, it's going to be how Solgaleo does damage to, I imagine, Justin, just if you get up good defense, like physical defense stat, Solgaleo's going to be not too bad to manage. So other than that, Gummy has Raikou for Pelipper and Rain, and Thwackey. We got a Thwackey versus Rillaboom. Thwackey can deal with the Seismitoad, so I think Grim. I don't know if Grim Snarl gets any weather priority. It might get Rain Dance, which obviously doesn't help. I don't know if it gets Sandstorm or Sunny Day or Hail. I don't think it does. It's not really known for its weather setting. So I don't know if Gummy can change the weather if Justin goes for rain. It can use Mantine, who is a Swift Swim mon, and he has Thwacky with priority to deal with rain if Justin chooses that route. But yeah, I don't know. I knowing that Justin needs a good performance, he can possibly secure second place with that performance. I'm gonna say that Justin goes all out, and he's in great form after beating me and winning. He's won 4 in a row. He's got the best form in the league right now. So I'm gonna say 2-0 to Justin, for sure. Oh, my bad. Let me go back to the predictions for me and Wex. I deeply apologize. Real quickly, and then I'll go into Justin and Gummy's prediction. I of course back myself 2-0 against Wex. Justin also says 2-0 me. He backs me. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Wex is saying 2-1 himself. He's taking a modest win this week. He thinks he can pull it off. And Eli says 2-0 Wex, which Eli just wants to see me fail. He's an asshole. I'm glad. You know how it is. It's Eli. And then into Justin versus Gummy. We all have a 2-0 for Justin, which is very interesting. Sorry, Gummy. Maybe you'll prove us all wrong. You seem very confident. You seem like a confident gummy bear this week. We shall see if it pays off. I hope you prep well. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you put in the work because, yeah, ride or die this week. So good luck, mate. So we're all counting you out. So prove us wrong. Here is the runner-up for Game of the Week. We have Mack versus Quartz. Very, very interesting game. Basically, winner is most likely in. They have a good shot if you win, especially if you win 2-0. Winner has a great shot of being in the playoffs. So this is a huge game. Also for other people falling in the playoffs. I know like Germ and Ryolu and Gummy. I think if like I said, Gummy's winning in. I know Germ, Ryolu, Mack, Quartz. They're all affected by this game. So huge game, Mack versus Quartz. And on matchup, let's see. Does Quartz have the Trick Room answer? I'm sure he'll think of something to stop Trick Room. Torracat, I believe, gets Taunt, maybe. Sigalith could run in Prison this week, for sure. However, I'm kind of liking Hatterene this week. Hatterene looks really good. Even Stack, too. Stack and Hatterene look really good this week. And if he can get up Trick... I don't know. I'm sure Quartz will find a way to... Even Zekrom looks really good. Jeez, Electric into Moltres. You gotta watch for Lightning Rod, Raichu, and Dragon into Kyurem. Kyurem's a little faster, so gotta watch out for that. But Follow Me Dragon Dance will do the trick most likely to stop that speed. So Blizzard, you gotta watch for Blizzard spam this week for sure. Could be a problem. I do like Blizzard spam, but I don't know. In Trick Room, Hatterene and Stack sound really good to me. If Mack can get up Trick Room and control the game, control the speed, he can control Quartz's crazy strategies that are coming. Yeah, this is going to be tough. This is a tough one to call. I don't know. I think I like the Trick Room matchup a little more. I think Mack is a more predictable and seasoned battler, and Quartz might try some funky stuff, and they might come back to bite him. So I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Mack this week. I feel like that sounds pretty good to me. I feel like Mack pulls through and makes playoffs. Quartz has had a little funky season, and then I'm not quite sure he will have a great answer for Trick Room, but he could definitely well prove me wrong. So good luck to both of you. One of you may very well get in playoffs, so we shall see. What are the other predictions from the boys? We have 2-0 Quartz from Justin. Okay. Justin's back in the Blizzard spam and the Quartz shenanigans. And Wex and Eli both saying 2-1 Quartz. Wow. Okay, so they think it's going to be a little closer than Justin, but they're still back in the Quartz shenanigans and the Blizzard spam. I'm the only one supporting Mack this week. So very interesting, very interesting. That's going to be a very close and influential game. Reason why Justin wanted it in the game of the week, but he did sadly get outvoted because me and Wex said Germ and Mal. I will swiftly get into that game. This game is very huge. I think Mal has secured playoffs, which is maybe why Mack versus Quartz is a better game of the week. They both aren't in playoffs yet. They need to win, but Mal has confirmed playoffs. He's had a pretty good season. He's had a tough end of the schedule. It's unfortunate, but he's had to play Rooster, Justin, and Wex, who are all potentially going to be in the top 4. So it's very, very interesting. Mal needs a win somewhat. I think if he wins convincingly enough, he can move above Harrison and not play in the play-in round. I'm pretty sure that is a possibility. I believe he is sitting in the 7th spot right now. If I check this, he is. And with a convincing enough win, if he wins 2-0, he does go above Harrison. So Mal needs a 2-1 win to avoid the playing game, which is very, very interesting. And Germ needs a big win too, because Germ's got a playoff chance now. He beat Wex, he upset Wex last week, and if he pulls off a win here against Mal, he'll have a great shot to make playoffs. I don't know all the implications off the top of my head that he needs to happen. I can see where he is right now. He's in 12th, so he needs a lot to go his way. But he does have an inside-out chance. 4 teams are sitting at 3 and 6. One of them for sure will get in. I think he needs a Quartz win, because Quartz is technically below him right now, based off set differential. So he needs a Quartz win. He needs a Justin win, and he needs I think he needs a Justin win, a Quartz win, and a 2-0 from himself, and he may get in. I feel like that's how that happens. So he does need some results to go his way, but huge playoff implications in this game. And let's look at the matchup. I believe we have a Kyogre here, right? Germ has Kyogre now, if I'm not mistaken. He does. Let's see how Rain does against... Ooh, okay. We do have Storm Drain Maractus, and that is how Mal beat Rain earlier in the season when he played Ryolu. So very, very interesting. We do have the Maractus again. Cinderace has a rough matchup, but Sableye could definitely quash some things. And I look to see a steady dose of Necrozma, Maractus, Sableye, Dedenne, maybe Mesprit in there as well. I mean, it's a good way to stop Rain for sure. I'll be excited to see what Germ does, though. But I think I gotta back Mal. This week. It's he's had a good season. He's had a tough spell of games. I think he bounces back, and he's very comfortable with Rain, dealing with it with Maractus and stuff. I know he's played on the ladder in matches like that, and I think he's gonna bounce back. He'll pull some cool strategy to deal with Kyogre. He already did it once. So Glacier has an awful matchup this week with Infernape, Jesus Christ, Cinderace and Necrozma, so I don't think Glacier comes. Clefairy doesn't want to see Necrozma either, and I think if he can manipulate the Rain shenanigans, could be in his favor. Maybe Seeking comes this week. I think Seeking is a Swift Swim. Could be a decent bring. Kingdra is always decent. Heliolisk could always be a threat. But yeah, I think I go 2-1 Mal. I think Rain might be a little hard. You might have to adjust, or you might lose focus a bit. But I gotta back Mal. I think Germ misses out, and Mal. I went 2-1 Mal, which would put him in the 7th seed. He needs a 2-0 to not have a playing game. But I'm gonna say 2-1. I think he's gonna come short, but he'll still win. Justin and Wex have said 2-0 to Mal. They are backing the boy to get into the 6th spot. if Harrison loses. So that is key. We will get to that play in the next episode. So he does need Harrison to lose, but a 2-0 with a Harrison loss does secure the 6th seed for Mal, which will be very cool to see. Huge hype around this match. We've been talking about it in the server all week, so can't wait to watch that. If I can, hopefully. I'm traveling this weekend, so I hope I can at least watch the replays for all the games, but I hope I can see it live. And Eli has backed, I believe, the old Salamence user. I don't think he knew that Ryolu has Salamence now, because I believe when he sent his prediction, he said special ments. But yeah, he backed 2-1 Germ. He's just backing Germ, who ran the special ments. Germ has a soft spot in Eli's heart ever since that. So Eli said 2-1 to Germ, backing the dude. I don't think a 2-1 necessarily gets him in. It's a possibility, but I think he definitely needs a 2-0. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to the wire for sure. I'm very, very excited to see what happens this week. I wish this could have been a bigger podcast, obviously, because it's huge playoff implications, obviously. But I hope you enjoyed listening to my voice for this short amount of time. I tried to just do my best, get something out to you guys. Hopefully you're hearing this right now. Maybe Wex didn't want to edit it or didn't want to post it, but I figured I'd record something rather than leave you with nothing. Hopefully stay tuned to a write-up from Justin and Wex, hopefully. And this has been your boy, Kevin. Hopefully when you hear me next, I'll have finished in first place. Sorry, Wex. Love you, pal. But yeah, that's been me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your playoff hype in the comments. We're excited. Hope you're excited. This has been me on episode 4,200 or 20. I forget what I said. And yeah, that's been me. Peace out.